All right, guys, welcome back to another interview on mmaunhinged. Today I'm once again joined by Caolan Loughran. How's it going?
Very good, lad. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing fantastic. Thank you for joining us again. It's been an absolute pleasure. After your last fight, how could we not get you back on?
No. It went well, that went well.
It went more than well. It was a big fight in front of the Irish crowd. Obviously, the reception was fantastic. How did that feel?
Yeah, you know, it was not. It felt big, like the whole weekend fight day and arriving at the SSC and stuff. It felt big, and as you say, the reception I got was pretty mad. So no, it was good. It was the biggest night of my career so far by an absolute mile against the best opponent on the biggest stage, and I handled him pretty well, to be honest. So no, it was very good, but I feel like in fighting, if you stay there, then you'll stay there. Do you know what I mean? So I think you just have to like almost put it away, look back at it in the future, dissect what you done well, what you done wrong, and then move forward. Do you know what I mean? Look for the next one.
Well, then you talked there what you done well, what you done wrong. So while we're on the topic of talking about your performance against Festus, what did you feel like you done right? And obviously you're critical there. What did you feel like you done wrong?
Well, I control the fight from the start. That's the thing. I try to just control them as soon as it goes on. Just control them in the strike, control them in the grappling, and I've done that. Technically, I done a lot of things wrong. I'm working on them. I'm trying to. Literally, when I came back, I'd watched the fight back myself, but literally when I came back to the gym, the first thing Colin said to me was, "Can't talk about the fight and stuff like this here." And he said, as a coach, now I'm thinking how I would prepare a fighter for the next fight against you, which is perfect. That was exactly what I was thinking. And the things I had seen I'd done wrong, he had seen that I had done wrong. He had seen obviously more than I had. But that's the way you need to be thinking. That's the way you need to be taking a win, almost like a loss. When I look back, it wasn't hard. I proved him on a different level from him. But what I can say I done well was just like handling the moment. Do you know what I mean? Because everyone who was there told me like it was obviously Reece's show. It was Reece and Justin's night. But everyone who was there told me that as soon as I came out, the crowd changed, the energy changed. You know what I mean? Everyone got going. So when I was in that pressure bubble and I was in the cage, and Festus had been talking a bit to me, and I'd been talking a bit to him, and he came into my face in the cage and that, and I goes, right, we'll see now. So the way I performed in the pressure bubble is probably the thing I'm happiest with the most. Like I honestly feel I'm born for them nights. I'm way bigger nights. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so you talked about there. So when the moment mattered, that's where you feel like you delivered, obviously. And obviously, you talked about there, Festus, and you had a little bit of back and forth in the cage.
Yeah.
What was the words exchanged?
So like when he was being announced, you know, he came right into my face. So he didn't. I looked him down in my hunkers. He was being announced in the cage. He came right into my face, and I goes, "That's good, that's good." And then I looked down. And he goes, "Would he hear this?" And then they announced my name, and the crowd's going, "Yeah!" Like, what I got? And then I goes to him like, "Let's see now, sure. Let's see now." You know what I mean? So it was good. Hey, that the crowd was obviously like sick of that, but like what I was looking forward to was like the technical battle in the build up. You know what I mean? Because he was a step up in supposedly a step up in competition. So I was looking forward to that more than the night. You know what I mean?
Yeah, you talked there about a step up in competition. Honestly, you didn't really look it on the night. You looked levels, and you talked about levels above him on the night, and obviously you felt that once you're in the cage.
Yeah, no, I told him when I was on his back. I started patting his head and goes to him, "I told you." And then I goes to him, I started patting his back and he goes, "Remember you were talking shite?" As I was on his back, and I looked up at the referee. I know the referee, Caolan Loughran. He was like half looking at me, thinking. I think he was thinking, "Shut the fuck up." But no, you don't want to be a sore winner, but got the win handy enough. You know what I mean? On to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. You started off well with your striking, and obviously you mixed up with the grappling as well. I just felt like your game that night was all around there. It was just fantastic. The way you obviously started off with striking, you were clipping him, and then you clipped him massive. Then you obviously you got the cage takedown on the cage. It seemed like that was the game plan to mix it all up and bring him into all areas.
That's always my game plan. I will always my game. I love MMA. I can watch Wonder Boy Thompson circle around the cage, not get touched and flick the feet, ping the nosy, school you in the feet. The same way I can watch Islam Makhachev tight shoulder pressure, smitten Drew over with a half head normal, half shoulder pressure. I can watch the same. I can watch them both, and I don't have a preference. I literally love both. So my game is what I'm going for is like a complete MMA game, and I'm subject to really high level coaching here under Caolan Loughran, Mike, and all these guys. Big news coming for the gym too. Can't tell you what that is, but there's huge news coming for the gym. It's going to propel us even further. So I'm suspect to really high level coaching in all areas, and I apply myself as best as I can to level up in all them areas. So now my game is MMA, and I looking forward. I imagine my next. I'm looking who it's probably going to be. I imagine it's going to be a guy who's going to come try and take me down, which is a completely different style of what I've proved in Cage Wars. So I'm looking forward to that. And then I of the few potential opponents, I think my next win will be a KO on the feet. This was the first two were grappling on the ground. I think my next one I'm gonna knock these guys clean out. To be honest, that's what I'm thinking anyway.
Yeah, we'll move on to, obviously we quickly talk about the fight, and then we'll move on to the good stuff when we get to call out the other people. But obviously, the overall performance and the assessment of your fight on Cage Warriors, which on 140, the overall assessment of your performance.
I'm born for the big stage. I am a very well-rounded MMA fighter, and Belfast is a fucking deadly place to fight.
You talked after that. You didn't really have a plan to celebrate, but obviously we're after that now. So, how did you celebrate after that win?
I celebrated after that win. No point in lying, lad. I see a big fat head on me. I took a week. I went to Santa Pond and that, and just gonna enjoy life, lad. You know what I mean? Still training wee bits and stuff, but now we celebrated it in Point Lane, but we're back at it now the last 3 weeks or so.
Yeah, the fight itself, it was smooth running. It was just one direction. You were dominant. But was there anything in there that Festus might, anything that he brought that put you off maybe on the night?
Not overly, to be honest, lad. I know what he was trying to do. He was trying to counter I was doing leg kicks when my head was still on the line. He was trying to counter. I got onto that pretty quick, but not really, to be honest. I left with two massive black eyes. I watched the back. I don't even know when the fuck he hit me. One of them was when I was on his back. He punched back, and I left up with like a full black eye. Them Cage Warriors gloves, like they're like rocks. They're like wee rocks in your fist. They're like, I remember putting them on the first time. I was like, fuck, I can't wait to hit somebody with this. But for some reason, never came in my head that I'm gonna get hit with them too. Like, so they're mad. They're the best glove you'll ever wear, but like they're fucking dangerous. So I left with two black eyes for some fucking how, to be honest.
Yeah, honestly, I can't believe you did as well, because honestly, as I talked about, it was just completely one direction. You were dominant from start to finish, and you got that second round finish. There was a lot of talk, obviously, heading into this fight with you. You love to talk and try and get to your opponent's head, and I feel like it worked on the day. Did you feel that?
First of all, I don't ever try to talk. I give honest assessments. I swear in my life I don't try to talk shit ever. If someone's good, they're good. If they're bad, I'll tell you where I think I'm going to beat you. But the moment, whenever we were locking in, I goes, I guess here, and I goes, let's go. I do feel like he was a wee bit, not, I don't know, like, fact his performance, but I think the crowd on the big stage and the lights kind of half
intimidation.
Bit of jitters when I knew I was like, so calm. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love that pressure.
Exactly, and obviously, this is an experience that it's gonna be valuable for moving on forward for your career.
See, experience, you cannot see. When I was like 18, 19, I used to be like, experience is just what old people say to try and put a positive twist on them being old. That's what I used to say. I was wrong. You cannot buy experience. It is invaluable. And just even the things in like the build up, your weight cut, being backstage. Like I've seen thousands of men lose fights backstage. Like from white collar level to professional, I've seen overthinkers and doing all this moving, jumping about backstage. Even that's all experience. In the cage, what he done technically, it's you can't buy it. So I'm just trying to get as much of it as I can, and obviously being on the big stage, that's a whole new experience. You know what I mean?
And before the fight, you wanted to be respected by the bantamweights, and obviously in the division. What's your stance on that now? How does that stand?
I mean, I think they would be stupid if they didn't respect me. Let's be 100% honest. I'm a very well-rounded, dangerous finisher from everywhere. Physically, maybe the strongest bantamweight alive, and I'm fucking wired in the head. So I think you'd be stupid. You'd be fucking stupid if you didn't respect me. You don't have to fear me, but you have to at least know that I'm going to be a fucking tough night, I think.
That wired comment, it made me chuckle a little bit because the mentality is just so funny.
Yeah. You need it, lad.
Yeah. But obviously, we'll talk about your corner that night. It was Mike Grundy and obviously your brother Tiernan in your corner. What was it like to obviously have your brother in your corner and obviously the knowledge and the strength of Mike Grundy?
Yeah, and obviously my head coach is Caolan. He couldn't make it, but obviously he was the main man in the build-up. I don't know. I just looked around the Tiernan. My walk out, I came that song, something inside so strong, that one, and the crowd started standing up, and I just turned around. I was so calm. I wasn't I was just I turned around Tiernan and Mike, and I goes Tiernan, hit Tiernan, slap in the stomach. I goes, this is fucking deadly, and he bust out laughing. So I think he enjoyed it. It's experience for him almost too. I know I'm thinking when I'm cornering someone, I'm almost thinking like it's me walking out. You're almost visualizing yourself. Do you know what I mean? And then being in the cage stuff now is just deadly. It's like deadly to have someone like a family member along there with you. And then obviously Mike, he's done it at a much bigger stage. He's done it UFC and stuff. So it's, as I said about experience being invaluable, he's been there at the highest level. So you couldn't fault it. You know what I mean?
Exactly. It's always good to have, obviously, as you talked about, someone who's been there at a bigger stage, someone who's experienced like that sort of thing. But I don't doubt that you'll get there one day and you'll be able to experience what he experienced, and it'll be phenomenal. But moving on, I know in our previous interview, you talked about having a fight with Luke Shanks after this one. But I know then you and Reece McEwan went back and forth on Twitter or on Instagram, sorry. But then also see that you called out Wilson Reyes as well. So it looks like you want to get everyone.
I actually completely forgot about Wilson Reyes. Now you say it, I actually completely forgot that I signed him. I don't think I'm going to be fighting Wilson Reyes anytime soon, unless they were bringing guys. Maybe it's for a title. Maybe they bring guys over. I was actually texting Wilson Reyes. Hilarious that I never thought of him as a potential opponent, but he was messaging me back. I want to fight Reece McEwan next. That's what I want to fight. It completely depends on what Dominic's doing. I don't know who the champion of this division is. Let them out, because he seems to be. I don't know what his deal is. I don't know. He's come out and slated Cage Warriors. I actually messaged him yesterday. I said, "What's the story, lad? Are you vacating this belt? Are you fighting, or what's happening?" Needless to say, he didn't reply to me. But I seen he put up in a story 4 or something in Roman numerals. So maybe he is fighting. It doesn't look like he is. I think the title's going to become vacant. So I don't know what they're going to do. The guys over at Energize, they're mashing me. They think there's going to be a 4-man tournament for the belt, 2 semi-finalists fight. They had me, Luke Shanks, Nathan Fletcher, and Reece McEwan. That sounds good to me. Any one of them, whoever want to go. I think they said that Reece and Luke do a bit of training together, so maybe they wouldn't want to fight. I'm not sure. But any one of them 3, I'd imagine, is the number 1 contender fight next for me. I think it's one more than the belt. That's the way I see it. McEwan, he's after a big win. He's beat Kingsley. I don't know where the fuck people got out of this idea that Kingsley Crawford's a good fighter. I don't know why people thought that's a good win. He doesn't do anything but a power and a bit of a neck tack. But I don't think Kingsley's that tough of a guy to be, especially with Reece's style. Wants to come and take you down. He's probably going to win. I want to fight him next. You couldn't write this right. So I'm an undefeated professional. I've never lost a round as a professional. But and in the amateurs, I won a lot of belts and stuff like this here. But I had 2 losses in the amateurs. Reece McEwan and Nathan Fletcher. They're both signed to Cage Warriors, and then the way them boys now just had there could be 2 fighting in a tournament for the belt. I want to fight Reece McEwan next, and then I could fight Nathan for a vacant title. You couldn't fucking write that, lad. You couldn't write it. The 2 lads who got me in the amateurs. They could be the next 2 guys probably they could be 2 of the next guys I fight. And that honestly, beating them 2 for a Cage Warriors title, I swear on my life at this stage of my career, it mean more to me to win the UFC title. After them having a win over me in the amateurs, I couldn't tell you how much that would motivate me. Like, I'd love that so much.
So the way I can feel it through the screen, the way you're talking about, obviously, because you talked about how they beat you in the amateurs, and that's how the one you want back is obviously Reece McEwan. That's one you would like next. As you talked about, had a performance against Kinsey Crawford. I was going to ask you about what did you think of his performance, but then you pretty much described it.
He's a high level grappler. He was telling me he got rolled from the top position twice. His legs went. People think now my style is I'm going to come out and take it down against the cage, and I'm going to force wrestling. It is. I am. I can take them 2 down. I could take them 2 down so fucking easily. The best. If I used to write down a style that I want to fight, right? I swear my life is the truth. It's a guy who has to come and take you down and has to hold you down to win. They're both shit. They're both fearful wee men on the feet. They shit themselves every single second the feet on the fight is standing. Them 2 are petrified of anyone they're fighting. Not me, anyone. Every time they're fighting, it's clear to see. They hate fighting. Their whole style is based around not fighting, really. So if I was to design a style, it would be a guy who has to come take me down, and his legs go if he can't. That's both them. There is no holding me down. There is not a bantamweight on this planet that can hold me on the ground now. My main training partner the last 4 years has been Mike, and he's a weight class above. You maybe hit me. You might hit a takedown in MMA. Okay, granted. I'm on my hip and I'm up. You won't keep me there. Nathan's legs went against Dominic, and I don't know how. He was destroying him. It was easy for him to take Dominic down. Dominic wasn't really trying to get up. He was lying on top, rest. He should have the skill to be fit to rest. It was easy for him to hold him down. So he should be getting his breath, but he can't because it's not a cardiovascular thing for him or Reece. It's a nervous energy thing. And what way is that going to go now since Nathan got knocked clean out? It's only going to get worse. He can do as much fucking assault, bikes, rounds, anything. It's a nervous energy thing. I just got KO stiff. So it's only going to get worse. There is no holding me down. There's no rest. Like there was with Dominic, you could hold down. You should be fit to rest on top of him. Me, I'm going to hip him up. I'm turning you. I'm on you then. I'm breaking you in them moments. So them 2 guys are the guys I want to fight next. I want to fight Reece first. And I would love. I initially wanted to fight 4 times this year. Just seeing the schedule coming out, I don't think that's going to happen. So I kind of let that go. It's probably only one more fight this year. So I'd imagine it's going to be on Paul and Jordan's because they want Paul, the Irish guy. They'll probably want to stick me on 2. I'd like to fight Reece first, and then maybe the belt early next year. That's what I want to do. That, to be honest.
Yeah, you pretty much answered most of the question was surrounding that Reece McEwan fight. You talked about there how
it's a handy one. I swear my life is a handy one.
Yeah, you pretty much talked about, obviously, I was going to ask how do you think you're going to win that fight, but you just talked about it. You described it, how you're going to stuff the takedowns and probably knock him out.
Did you watch back our interview with Festus? That I literally
Did I watch back, sorry?
Well, my interview with you before Festus. I told you I was going to take us back. I was going to finish him. You goes, well, Rene Gachuka goes, no, I'll probably TKO him from the back. I'll tell you exactly how I'm going to beat Nathan and I don't like predicting fights. I know it's hard. Fighting's hard, but I swear on my life, I know exactly how that's going to go. Both of their legs are going to go trying to take me down. Their heart will sprint out of their ass and I'll KO them because they hate fighting. Their whole style is based around grabbing you, squeezing. Please don't get up. Please don't get up. Please don't get up. But a lot of guys in the UK seem to play jiu-jitsu with them. I won't play jiu-jitsu. I am up. You won't keep me there. I'm going to KO you 100 times in a row, especially whichever one of them gets me in 5 rounds. They're definitely getting knocked out. Whoever gets me in 5.
No, I mean, I don't doubt. Obviously, fantastic. The way you mix it all up, everything that you do is phenomenal. As you talked about, then you grappling, your wrestling, obviously your striking is there. You've got it all. I feel like you've got that. That it factor.
Yeah, but I'm nowhere near good enough. Yeah, you have to still keep breaking yourself down where you can improve. But I just speak with myself confidently, lad, and it seems to be working. To be honest, at the minute, don't try to be anything I'm not. Just But I think I can. I think I'm the best in the Cage Warriors Bantamweight division. I honestly believe that.
Yeah, so we'll move on to my last few questions. You talked about how you wanted 4 fights ideally this year, but obviously you think you're only going to get one. So I was going to ask, how busy did you want to be this year?
I have notes. You have notes on my phone, and my plan was to fight in each quarter of the year. When in April, Belfast, get a number one contender around September time, and then fight for the belt in December. But just the way the schedule is working out, it's not looking like that, to be honest. Unless I won on Paul's show and then done a really quick turnaround for the New Year's Eve show. And I would do that. I would give up my Christmas. I give up 100%. That's the 10-year anniversary from the McMahon, isn't it? From McGregor's show.
I mean, off the top of my head, New Year's Eve, it does ring a bell.
It's actually the night that McGregor KO Bushinger. It's like a 10-year anniversary. I mean, having an Irishman in a title fight sounds good. Sounds like a good idea for me there, if you know what I mean. But I'm not really worried. If it has to be next year, it has to be next year. That was just my goal to start the year. I'm probably not going to do that, which kind of like can fucks your head up. But it's not. It's more the schedule thing than like I was beat or anything. You know what I mean? So if it's one more, it's probably going to be in that Paul and Jordan card, and that's going to be the biggest card of the year. That's going to be absolutely insane. So I'd love to be on that, to be honest. I think I will be on that, to be honest.
Absolutely, and I hope obviously they get match up with Reece McEwan next. I think it was obviously the fight I just talked about. It's the fight to make, both on the up. But obviously, we're going to find out who's the better man of the day, and I don't doubt that both men will put on a fantastic performance. But obviously, it's going to be a great fight either way. I do see it being being a bar burner.
I don't see a bit of bar burner.
Obviously, you described how it's going to go. I mean, if it goes the way it goes, honestly, I will send the most amount of money your way because I'm going to make you enter the lottery.
Yeah. It's just the way, because they've one style of fight, so it's kind of the same as Festus. Like he's one style of fighting. If you have one style of fighting, it's not that hard to prepare for someone with one style of fighting. That's why I say this. Them two have to hold you down. I don't think anyone can hold me down anymore. So I think I'm going to knock both of them out. That's for the four. With them, we're saying the Cage Warriors gloves, where we fucking rocks. So if your legs are gone and I put one of them on their chin, I think I can put them away.
I'm going to have to maybe get some of these Cage Warriors gloves. So I know what you're talking about.
I'm telling you, but they're like fake gloves. So when you have them in the gym, they don't really last, But on fight night, they're fucking lethal.
All right, so I know you're obviously an MMA fighter, but you love to watch MMA as well. So we'll talk about obviously the big bantamweight matchups that we have coming up.
Yeah.
Aljamain Sterling is probably going to take on TJ Dillashaw, and obviously Peter Yan is going to take on Sean O'Malley. And I just want your verdicts on them fights.
Well, the O'Malley Yan one, right? Firstly, I'm just a fan of MMA. So that's just deadly. I that's class, isn't it? That's just like a spectacle. I think that's just deadly, and it's on an unbelievable card. As a technical fight, I think Yan will kill him. I think he'll. So Peter, it's a 3-rounder, isn't it?
Yeah.
Peter Yan's a very different fighter in 3 rounds as he is in 5. You watch his earlier UFC fights. So it was in a 5-rounder, he'll usually take if you watch Lomachenko in the amateurs, in a 3-rounder, he would rarely throw a punch in the amateurs, but he would always win a 3-round fight. It's fucking ridiculous. He'd take the first round, look at you, work you out, make you move, pressure you, without actually doing much, but just calculating you, and he would still win. Lomachenko was fucking ridiculous skill. Yan does that over a 5-round fight. In a 3-rounder, he just goes at you from the bell. It's lethal. You watch like the Faber fights and his earlier UFC, he just comes out head guard, press you against the cage, and just starts working from the start. If you watch the Chris Monteiro fight, Sean O'Malley, when he was backed up, his chin started to go up. He started hitting a bit like this. Now, Monteiro was a fucking punch by, so he was hitting him clean. But his chin was coming up. I think if Jan's fit the pressure him the way Montaigne, which he is, he's the best in the UFC at pressuring people against the cage. So someone I'm probably I've studied Piotr the way fucking everything. I studied Piotr. I think he pressured O'Malley against the cage and starting loading on him, and I think it'll be a pasting, to be honest with you. Obviously O'Malley can catch him, but when he's backed up like that, if you don't let him control it, if you let him like a slow kickboxing match like Almeida did, and you let him control it, he's dangerous. He put a big one on your chin, but I think he's gonna have no control over Piotr. I think he'll get busted up, to be honest. But I like Sean O'Malley. I think he's a funny guy. TJ and Aljo, like I've bet against Aljo Sterling probably about 8 fights in a row, like, so I don't know if I could do it again. But he's a pure striker. He's actually not a good wrestler, D3 wrestler, but he's a fucking unbelievable jiu-jitsu player. I don't think he gets TJ down. I can't see him getting. Jan was getting like emotionally involved. He was turning out, giving his back, trying to get like as if to say, "Get the fuck off me," and get up and hit him. I don't think TJ will make them mistakes on the ground. I think he will not get taken down and then either win a decision or KO Aljo. It's tough for TJ because he's obviously a juice head cunt, which I obviously don't like. Obviously, no one likes a juice headed cheater. But he's actually, and then people who are juice heads, what would you say? They're actually mentally weak. He's actually a mentally strong. He's actually an animal in the mind. Seeing the way he trains, seeing his competitiveness. And his fight against Sandhagen, he fucking had a big cut on his eye, his knee busted, and he just keeps going to well. So I think he's more experienced, more well-rounded MMA fighter than Aljo. I think, see the way MMA works, I think TJ will beat Sterling. Sterling beat Jan, but I think Jan will beat TJ. So I think TJ will win the belt, and then Jan will beat TJ. You know what I mean?
I think obviously in the bantamweight division, that TJ versus Jan, I think that's the matchup that will intrigue everyone.
Sick, isn't it? Sick fight too.
Yeah, I agree with you, the Jan and obviously the Sugar Sean O'Malley. I think Jan's going to be way too much for Sugar Sean. If you look at Sean O'Malley's last fight against Pedro Munoz, arguably, well, I think he lost that first round against Pedro.
So did I. Pedro's good, but no, I don't. I do like O'Malley, but I think Jan's a step too far. Fair play to him for taking it though. Fair fucking play to him, mate. Massive step up, but I don't think he'll win, to be honest.
Absolutely, and obviously, hopefully, I'll be talking about your name in the top 10 of the UFC UFC bantamweight division.
In due course.
I'll be sat here with someone else and a prospect coming up, and we'll be talking about you versus whoever that is.
O'Malley, fight O'Malley.
I mean, what would happen if you actually did fight O'Malley? I know, obviously, it'd be a fantastic spectacle. Both men, you know, the striking, the grappling, it'd be brilliant.
I think I'd smoke Sean O'Malley right now. I swear on my life. Piotr Jan, I have to be honest, I think Piotr would get me today. Aljo, if he got me back, I'd be fucked. I think I'd go through Sean O'Malley right now, 100%. Give me 2 or 3 years to get up to them top boys level. But O'Malley, he's too skinny. I think I'd smoke him.
How would you approach, obviously, Sean O'Malley? How would you approach that fight?
I would do literally what I just said with Piotr. I'd back him up against the cage when I would incorporate wrestling. I don't expect Piotr to. I think his leg, again, I could get him, even if I don't. His jiu-jitsu is good, his neck attacks look good. Trains under Tanquinho. Tanquinho's a world-class grappler. But I would just grind him against the cage, wearing his legs, and then I would look to find his back, or when his legs are heavy, KO him. But I would do what I expect Piotr to do, but only I would try to incorporate wrestling too. You just cannot hit. You can't play the rhythm of his beat. You have to control the fight. You have to push him back, because if you let him control it, he's dangerous. He starts doing wheel kicks and fainting game stuff. So just control him the way I try to control everybody. That would be the game plan, really.
Absolutely, I agree with what you said there. If you let him get his rhythm going, because then he gets his confidence, and then that's where he starts to, obviously perform better.
Exactly. He's a rangy fucker, isn't he? So you can't. You have to take it in on him. You know what I mean?
Well, one day, as you talked about, in due course, Caolan, you'll get to the top, and we'll talk about that one day. But yes, thank you very much for joining me. It's an absolute pleasure. Obviously, congratulations on that performance against Festus. And honestly, I hope they make that Reece McEwan fight next.
Thank you very much, brother. Anytime.